Hello, this is Pixie doing another video. Raining pretty crazy. I've got a car right up my ass. Great. So I had an interesting session, and I've been doing this kind of, I don't know, there's always more to learn. So I'm doing this Raja yoga, heartfulness yoga, and I've been doing it for a while. I took a break from it, and I thought I sort of seen the big, the big picture for it. Oh, this is quite an effective technique. But there's a lot more to it. It's not just simply, attain one level or something. Bloody can't go away. Right on the backside of the time. Crazy busy. I'm gonna go a different route, I might. Okay. What the heck? There's always some crazy drivers around. Get going, fella. Yeah, I think I'm going to go down there as well. So, yeah, well basically, I was at home and the bloke, so we're kind of seekers, people look at this knowledge, but I wonder if they're like finders, because if somebody's found something, they're sharing it with a group. It's kind of like that. How do you become a senior seeker, or how does that work? Anyway, it was to be done remotely. It's usually done in a little classroom, but this session's a bit different. And what happened is, so he was somewhere in Italy, or somewhere in that sort of area, near a training centre, and he's probably just chilling out. And I'm here in lovely UK. I was at home, I was in my flat. And the thing is about my flat is it's got organ, it's got plants, it's got all sorts of things. It's kind of like my little spiritual world, really. And this, I tell you what, doing that did cause some effects. It didn't just affect me in the area; it affected everything around me. Oh my god! Bloody madness! Got some bloody madness going on. So the red one goes. He goes. The bus isn't go. Oh fucking hell! Is that wise? Where are you gonna go? There's no space here. I'll tell you what. If I go around that way. Yeah, it's what happens with drivers. They get a bit frustrated. They look for opportunities to pop out. And they start doing manoeuvres that are a bit unusual, like turning in a completely opposite direction. Like, well, there's no lane space there. There's other cars in the way. Anyway, so yeah, so I was at home and done it, and crikey, there was some really strange spiritual stuff. It's just opened up them chakra points, and some really interesting effects happen. So I was with my eyes closed, and I know TVs are like reflective mirrors when they're black, and I could see a face in it, even though my eyes were closed. And I realised there's the mirror to the left of me where I see it, and because I've set it up so the mirrors reflect upon each other, I think I could take the bloody long way. I see how I get around all this madness. Right. Got a creepy, scary red face. Yeah, so what happened is I started seeing this, like, there was a person's face there. It reflected in the thing, even though my eyes were closed, this was normal. And so it must have been the TV reflecting the mirror, and that would mean a face to the left of me's in it. And the TV wasn't on, it wasn't like that. And it was like, it was a male, but he had like a crown, like a silver crown. It wasn't thorns, but it was something round his head. That was a plant was right round his head. This is really odd. I haven't really figured that out. And there were some other things. I started picking up on plants and things in the room. Even I was doing stuff to do with my heart chakra, and my third eye's active anyway. It seems to be when I do meditation. it's because I trained that first, so it tends to come on active. And then it was like pulses. With my eyes closed, you can sort of see a light glowing off there, off your chest as well. So it's really, really powerful. Now I'm just doing it with me and this trainer, an intense session. I have to ask him, how's that different? But I don't want to go too much into the paranormal, because I don't think everyone has that. It's just enhancing what maybe was already with me. Not bloody see anything now. Wow. So yeah, so I think it's opened me up to things in there, or the things that probably I'm more aware of. So I've had a few different, like these different eyes I keep on seeing in meditation. So they were consciousness peering in. I see that my mirrors in there actually as kind of doorways as well. I saw this purple thing. I think the jinn checked in as well. There's something, some entity. Because some stuff you can, when you're like kind of eyes closed, you can see an image form or something form there, and that was quite an interesting sort of encounter there, I guess. So yeah, it's very, very, very spiritual. This is heart meditation, not all this other stuff in it, but it's because of where I opened up. This is another thing. If you go to an area and you open yourself up spiritually in that area, you might open things up around you in that area as well, or you might also connect to things in that area. So if you go to a place to meditate, to sense things, sometimes they bring on some of these paranormal investigations. They say this person's a psychic investigator, or somebody's a parapsychologist, or whatever. It's a bit of a mixture. Blimey, it's busy. So yeah, that sometimes helps. I think that helps probably for people that were investigating paranormal stuff. If they got somebody quite spiritual, it will help to get these other things in. There's no point sort of saying, are you there? Can you let us know if you're there? Can you do it again? It's like a baby, isn't it? I mean, I don't think anything. I would be bored if I was in the afterlife looking for things. I said, well, why? All you could do is ask me, can I do something, or can I in some way make you know I'm there, and then what? Nothing else. So I think, but either way, I think bringing on a different type of person will activate different. It's like a beacon, so it brings them in. But definitely the heart was like a beacon. And there were some other things were going on there. I'd have to ask him when the trainer that I sort of work with. There's probably a bit of trainer, maybe at some level. He doesn't teach me how to meditate. He just simply acts as the guide. But he did say there was these different sort of ways of doing stuff, like meditate every day, and then have this sort of like a joint meditation at a certain time in the week in one of the sessions. But if I went to a big event and everyone's meditating there, Jesus, I don't know what's going to happen there. But it'd be worth doing it. The only thing is also, if I open my energy levels up, the other people around me will be affected by that as well. It opens them up to things, so I've got to make sure that whatever I bring with me isn't negative or whatever. They might have weird experiences. I saw some creature and it looked like a bit like a lemur monkey. His face was thinner, maybe it's slightly mantis or wooden, and somewhere between that and a mantis maybe, if you sort of mix the two together. And he had red eyes. And he was staring at me at some point. It was really weird. I don't know if it's to do with some of the fairy stuff, because the plants. So, okay, the easy way to explain it is if I'm spiritual and I come across things with a spirituality, I can open them up as well and connect with them, because it's like I'm extra sensitive to these things. And then they become aware of me. Everything in some level has got a consciousness. That's probably the easy way to explain it. So this also works with other living beings. So I could try to connect to an animal or something, and I'd probably come across something spiritual connected to the animal. So the animal's got a guide, or for plants, they have kind of like a guiding consciousness behind them, which is this entities, these these varied entities. I think there's because most plants are clones and or from a genetic sort of strand, they're all connected in that way. So you may have per species of plant a particular spirit guide that works with them, because they've got this collective consciousness that's connected. So that's why all that works. So if I open up spiritually in an area, then I'm going to open myself up to connect to these things, like networking, I guess. It's like Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi is open, is an open source signal. If I'm not putting in a password to block it, other things can interact with me, or I can connect to them at some level. That's probably the easiest way of looking at some spiritual ways of connecting. And what does that mean though? It means there's more for me to learn, and I haven't reached really like a plateau spiritually. There's another level there, and that's what I'm aware of now. It's like, wow. So I might just see if we can take the journey a little further, but it might have a big kind of I have to look at there may be some downside, like I might get worn out or something, or become tired, or maybe my character will change. I might have to live with that. It's not really a bad thing. It's all positive. I think I'm trying to embrace lost knowledge, I guess. I think one stage humans were more spiritual, but we've been influenced and manipulated by other factors. To say, it could be a man's desire for certain power. It could be that there was a lot of meaningful, mindful people, and then there maybe a tribe of psychopaths got involved or something, and then we're easy to manipulate and get twisted up, and now we've got this kind of mixture of different tribes. And there's these groups that see themselves as something pure and special, and they kind of just want to be in control. They want to play God and King and all these other things. This stuff is important to them more than just getting on and self-developing and keeping people caught up in loops. Something really powerful I learnt today off a client actually, and she reflected upon my own thinking, that kind of, medicine is poison. I know poison can be medicine, and in essence food can be poison too, because you're not going to want everything in. Otherwise you wouldn't have waste products, would you? You would use up 100% of what you've eaten if none of it was toxic at some level, or unwanted by your body, and an accumulation would equal poison. So it's relative to quantity and ratio, and time as well. Time's a factor when you eat and stuff, because you could have, you could drink your whole day's fluids and food in one bloody minute, and it'd probably overload you. It's one of these things, possibly. So yeah, that's the thing. Basically everything can be poison that you're putting into your body, and it's trying to get your body to do more work itself. So I think when coming back to going to fasting from this different angle of spirituality, my body's more tailored to this 1,500 calories, and also borax. Now borax may make you more aggressive. I get this feeling that it may bring out a more primitive form of yourself. So the real difference between a modern man and one in the past is hormones. And this is probably the same for cats as well, and other domestic. So when you're more domesticated, you're using intelligence-based hormonal reactions. But if you're more survival-based, you'll be like PTSD sort of mode. You things like your adrenaline and other things are through the roof. Borax will release a lot of this testosterone into the body, and it may be more than it's used to, and so it may cause a more kind of primitive set of thinking. I must admit I've had some darker thoughts today, and I think that might be to do with taking a little supplement of borax last night. But it may also do other things like make you a lot stronger. It's not a bad thing. it's more of a survivalist mode. So yeah. Anyway, this is Pixie signing off for this video, and speak to you soon.